Well, greetings and welcome back to Got a Form for That. And today we actually have more than just a form. We have 4 forms that I would like to share with you. So fortunately, they're fairly simple, and I will be right on that in a moment. These forms are for St. John's Tide, and that is a period of time, but it also begins on June 24th. It has a date. And it is unrelated to Easter. You don't have to count the days. It's just June 24th. That's your day. And it's always that day. So I would like to read to you the special verse for In the Calendar of the Soul by Rudolf Steiner that is specially for St. John's Day. The radiant beauty of the world compels my inmost soul to free God-given powers of my nature, that they may soar into the cosmos, to take wing from myself, and trustingly to seek myself in cosmic light and cosmic warmth. So in this verse, we have that feeling that is what happens at this time of year in the Northern Hemisphere. And that's that feeling of expansion. So we have the longest day on June 21st, which is the summer solstice. And there is a form for that, but we're going to skip that this year. And I'm bringing you right into St. John's with June 24th. So Steiner talks about the verses, the very first verses, 1 through 5 in the St. John's Gospel as being protective verses against evil. And he also speaks about the first 14 verses being that kind of protection also. There are forms for the other verses, but I'm going to give you today the forms for verses 1 through 5. So if you would take out a piece of paper, you might want to, since there are just 4 forms, you could take a piece of paper and fold it into 4 parts if you want, or you could just use, a new sheet of paper for each of the forms, however you would like to do that. So get your things ready. And our first form is within a circle, so you can use a compass if you like, and I think I'll use mine. Or you can do it freehand, that's okay too. I'm going to do it small because I'm going to try and fit all 4 forms on this board. Oops, we'll see how that works. Something happened to my compass here, but I will just fake it. There we go. I think we'll have a circle that will work. And then if you are using a compass, you can use the same radius or the same distance of your compass to mark the points around the circle, because we're going to need 6 of them. We have 1 at the top that we made with our pencil. Then we put the point of the compass here and mark the other. And then we put the point of the compass here and mark another one. And then we can put the point of the compass on the mark we just made and make another one. And just dance our way around the circle till we have made 6 such points. If it doesn't come out, the way you like it or perfectly enough, then you can make some adjustments, because that will happen occasionally. It should come out perfectly, but not everything in life does. So here we go. We've got 6 points, and we're going to create a 6-pointed star, but we're not going to connect the dots. The whole form, the inner form, is held within the circle. It sort of balances in the circle, but it doesn't touch the circle. So we're going to make some inner points like this, and then we can connect those dots. See what I'm saying? We've got these inner dots here in the circle, and now we create a triangle by connecting those. And we create another triangle by connecting those dots. And now we are almost finished. We're going to draw a little circle in the center like that. After we have the form completed, then I'll write the order of the lines to be traced and so forth. So we begin with this triangle, but we start here with the tracing. We didn't do that while drawing them, but when tracing, we do. And this is the 3rd line here. And the 4th line is this little tiny circle in the middle. And then again, we use the blue that doesn't have green in it. So we have the Lyra number 10, made by Mercurius and Stockmar. Sometimes the numbers are not the same, but anyway, it's that sort of medium blue that does not have any green in it. You could also use Prismacolor number 933. We trace that circle first. And then we do the downward pointing triangle starting from that downward point. Then we do the standing up triangle starting from that top point. And the circle at the center. And when we are working with these, say morning and evening, we can, I say these because there are 4 forms, we can, trace each of the forms maybe twice is good. The verse that goes with this, or the verses, are actually the first 2 verses. So that would be, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. And now I will give you the next form. I think I'll draw that down here. And this one is in a golden rectangle. And in order to draw this form, it is helpful to, you draw a little vertical line down the middle and a horizontal line across the middle, because there are 3, and if you want to use a ruler, you can. I can do that more neatly than I did, but this will still work. There are 3 diamonds across like this, and the 2 outer ones come together in a little intersection in the center, and then there's another diamond around that. So let us do that. I'm going to start, let's see here. I'm going to come, this is going to be my outer diamond, this will be my outer diamond over here, and then the center diamond will start in here. But I'm going to draw these first and make sure that they intersect just a little bit across this midpoint. So this is the center of that diamond, and this is the distance from the center. So this distance and this distance need to be, close to the same. In fact, maybe I'm going to need to bring this in a little bit to make sure I don't, make it go out here. So there. Is that right? This may need to come out a little bit. Okay, So now we're going to draw that. And make sure your bottom point is equidistant from the bottom as this is from the top. And now we have our diamonds, that diamond, I mean, we have a beginning of them. And then now this one, it's the center of that diamond. And then this, gonna have to come in a little bit with that too, whoops. Okay, so here to here, way over here. And we bring that there, and this here, and then we bring this down to be equidistant from the bottom to where the top point is from the rectangle, top of the rectangle. And we draw that diamond, and then this one, this diamond is the same size as these two diamonds, but it's right through the middle here. And it surrounds this diamond in the center. And now you can't really appreciate the beauty of this form because there are so many lines that we've had to use to make it. So I'm going to erase the lines of our guiding lines. And you should not be touching the edge. And there we have our three diamonds within the rectangle. And the order of tracing is the rectangle first in a clockwise movement, and then we do this diamond, and then the other diamond over here, and finally we do the center diamond. Just like it's the order in which we drew the original form. And then we put our blue on here. The same blue that we used for that first form and other forms in this form drawing series. So now we've done this. Now we'll do this shape here, this diamond here, this diamond over here, and finally that center diamond. And this is verse 3 from the Gospel of St. John. And the verse is, all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. Okay. And then our third form, actually our third and fourth form will be within rectangles, but they will be standing rectangles. I call this a resting rectangle because it's not standing up on end. Anyway, so the third form, again, will be in a rectangle, but it will be standing. So let's try to do that. Okay, we have that as our beginning rectangle. Bring this a little closer. Okay. All right, and then to draw this form, it will be helpful if we, draw just a very light line vertically down the middle, and then horizontally across the center there. Just lightly with your graphite pencil. And now we have some more triangles. But they also do not touch this circumference or the seal of the form. So we're going to put some dots here, so that will guide us. And then the point of this triangle here will be close to the center point. So here we are there. They're almost equilateral. If your triangles turn out to be a little bit elongated or not, or a little fat or whatever, it's okay. That is not crucial. And then this one also it'll have its point here. So we have basically these two triangles, but separated and just touching in here. There's their intersection right there. Okay, and then we'll draw those, and then there's one more thing for us to do. There's our upward pointing triangle and a downward pointing triangle. Okay, and then around that little intersection, that little diamond there, we're going to draw a diamond that will kind of hold it or encompass it. So it is not a square diamond. It's sort of elongated. And then we connect those points and we have our form, and the tracing of the form is to do the rectangle first in a clockwise movement. Then we are going to start the triangles with the downward pointing triangle and then the upward pointing triangle, but we start tracing at the point. So here sorry, I've gone, it's too far away. It's right here. We start down here and we trace around here. And then for this triangle, we start here and go like that. Now for the diamond, we start at the top. So I am going to erase these other lines so we can see a little bit better what we are to do. I hope. All right, so then we take our blue, same blue. We trace over our lovely rectangle. And then we trace over starting with this at the bottom of the top triangle. And then the top, so the top of the bottom triangle, and come around that clockwise direction. And then finally, the diamond there. The verse for this shape or this form is, "In him was life, and the life was the light of humanity." And then our final form is another rectangle of the same kind as this other one. We have two standing golden rectangles. And for this one, it also helps to have that guiding central line coming down the center vertically, and then another one across the center horizontally, like that. And this one is really quite a simple form. It's just a figure 8 here with a diamond around it. So the goal here is to have the lower bubble of the 8 or the loop be about the same size as the upper one. So, work with that with your graphite pencil. And then we have this diamond. Make sure that the top and bottom are equidistant from each other. And again, it's not a square diamond standing on its tiptoe. It's a kind of elongated diamond. So the two side dots do not come out as far from that center as the top and bottom. And there we have the form, more or less. And I'm going to erase those guiding lines now. And the rectangle is first, or being traced, and the figure 8 goes this direction. And then the diamond starts at the top. It's the third tracing. And then we can go over that with our color, our dark, deeper blue. The Lyra number 10 or the Prismacolor 933. And there are other colors that would be appropriate too. Cobalt in the Lyra Rembrandt set is the light cobalt. Actually, the deep cobalt works too because they don't have green in them, so that works for this for these forms. And if I may not have said this in the last recording, so I'll say it today, that we use this blue that doesn't have any green in it because when we do that, when we work with the forms in this color, it has a direct effect on our inmost being. And that is very healing in our time. So the verse for this last form is, "The light shineth in the darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not." I will say the verses from St. John's Gospel one more time, and then I'll read Rudolf Steiner's verse. "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of humanity. The light shineth in the darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not." Verses 1 through 5 of St. John's Gospel. And here is the verse given in Calendar of the Soul by Rudolf Steiner for St. John's Tide. "The radiant beauty of the world compels my inmost soul to free God-given powers of my nature, that they may soar into the cosmos, to take wing from myself, and trustingly to seek myself in cosmic light and cosmic warmth." Thank you for being here today and joining us for Got a Form for That. Thank you for your good work, and I'll see you next time.